Thanks for joining the webinar. I don't have any presentation, but I have the actual management portal of ours. So I would like to show you some basics and the principles. We'll start with the data that we are able to provide you. The two main areas are the threads and the DNS traffic. That you can go through. You can drill down the data, and you can use also our API. I'll show that later to work with the data on your devices and machines. So regarding the threads, you can have an overview of what has been blocked in your network, and if there was just a suspicious traffic that has been just logged to the console and hasn't been modified. So obviously the most important part is that the blocked traffic. I will just filter it out. The whole dashboard just was just refreshed with the information about the blocked traffic. You can see the actual source IP addresses that are behind the malicious traffic that has been blocked, the sources that help to detect the threats, and the types of the incidents. So let's. I will focus for the moment. I'll focus on the CNC. The CNC stands for Command and Control Server, meaning these clients are actually communicating with the Command and Control botnet servers. So it's very likely that they are infected and they are controlled by some malware and the botnet. If we look down there, some hacker to the incidents themselves. There are quite a lot. You can see all of them in a different time zone, and all these incidents mean this client is infected, and we have actually blocked the malware from reaching the or the instructions. There are quite a lot of different malware types. There is, for example, the YourSniff botnet. There is some sort of remote access tool installed on this particular computer. Managed facility as well. I can see Remnit, lots of different botnets. Just to explain, we have an agreement with some artificial sample. This is a real network with real users and real threads. You can see there's quite a lot going on. Besides this, look on some malware sites. Again, the blog have a looked one, and there will be quite a lot of different ones. You can see someone trying to reach the malicious domain called Skillful Girl. We can also use the news to analyze the particular domains regarding context. For example, their reputation on VirusTotal. So we can see there are many, and some of the vendors stating that this domain is suspicious. Let me pick another one just to have an overview what the other vendors actually say about such a domain. As you can see, the workposter.info is blocked by a lot of those, by Forcepoint, Kaspersky, Fortinet as well, Avira. So there are different ways how to analyze what is actually being blocked, and there are so many domains that we actually block and apply to the traffic. It's basically impossible to do it manually. So as Peter has stated, we change more than 90,000 domains per day in the database. It's really being changed very fast. One important thing regarding the results, as you can see, there is a number called accuracy. the accuracy of the information that the domain is actually malicious and can be blocked. I'm just referring to this because I will make a note to this later in the configuration on security policy. So this is a brief overview of what is actually happening in your network. You also get this information in the regular reports to your mailbox, and you can also get this information via alerting. Let me go to the DNS traffic. Because we were just looking at the malicious traffic that has been identified by the threat intelligence, but the DNS traffic itself, we provide you with the information on everything what actually happened on your network. It could be quite a lot. There are a lot of things going on your network. It could be hundreds of thousands requests per hour or even more. It depends on the network size. So this is last 10 days in the network. This is actually aggregated per request type. So mostly the requests are the DNS records. Of course, it's most common type. But let me show you a simple filter, for example, by the MX records can point us to a suspicious clients that actually behave like spammers on the network. So I've just filtered all the information according to the MX requests, and if I pick the most active client, the most active IP address that has sent most of the MX requests, actually more than thousands per hour, which is quite a lot. And you can see that the line, the timeline, it's basically static. It doesn't change a lot during day and night. That is suspicious on its own. And if we look on the domain, this is a network in Czech Republic. It's quite unusual that most of the email traffic and the request towards the email traffic goes to Ireland, it goes to Germany. This is goes to China as well. So I'm pretty sure this is a spammer, this IP address, and it should be either limited in terms of what he is able to do on the network, not to be blacklisted because the reputation is quite precious, or at least warned that the machine in these networks are infected. Okay, let me show you some additional features that we are able to provide. Besides the filtering according to requests, we are also able to do the full text filtering. So I will just pick the. Let me show you filtering according to particular, let's say, subnet. I want to see all the traffic for the subnet 10.92. So I will ask the portal to filter it out. I can see what's happening in that particular subnet, the most active clients, all the queries. And for example, I would like to see who was trying to reach the domain google.com from that particular subnet. So I'm able to do it quite easily. I'm able to filter for that particular domains, including all of the subdomains for that for the domain google.com. This is quite useful when investigating incidents on the network or helping the clients when they have issues with the network connections. A lot of our customers use the full text filtering for these purposes. And besides that, we also provide you with the possibility to filter out the suspicious requests that are detected by our neural network. All of the logs are analyzed by the neural network that is telling us, okay, this request is really suspicious because the domain doesn't really make sense. It's not something you would expect from a human being to enter into the browser. And if you see spikes like this, there are actually like 100,000 requests per hour. This is suspicious, and if I give them the most active domain asking for such domains, let me show you what this IP address is actually trying to reach a really awkward, unusual domain, including the top-level domain Black Friday feedback, with some sort of hexa something names in the domain names. And we have verified that this behavior is the source of this behavior is a crypto miner infecting the computers around in the region. So although this malware is not very well known, we are able to identify it even without the knowledge of the particular domains, just based on the behavior in the DNS traffic. Just for the last mention regarding the DNS traffic analysis. If you are struggling with some sort of connection issues, or the client is asking you, can you please verify the domain, I'm not able to connect to it, you can also use tools like the DNSSEC that's doing quite a hard work verifying the DNSSEC, whether the target domain has all the DNSSEC settings and signatures in place and valid. So you can use such external tools easily from our context menus to verify what do we know about that particular domain. You can directly Google that domain. You can use tools like URL scan just to verify, okay, I want to verify the particular domain, and the DNSSEC validation is here, just telling us that the Facebook CDN has everything in place and it's okay, there are no errors. But if there are errors, it could mean that you are unable to join that particular domain, and you can tell them that the problem is not on your client side, but that the problem is actually on the side of the provider of that service. So both data types, the threads and the DNS traffic, are available to you also through API. I will get to that. Let me now jump to the configuration. This is the configuration menu where you are define how the resolvers should act on your variable to network. And in a very basic scenario, you would have just the default security policy. The most common one is to have the blocking set to 80, meaning any domain that has accuracy 80 or higher, all the incidents had an accuracy assigned, will be blocked. So according to the accuracy, you can decide on what you want to block. If you just refer back to if you keep it to 80, which is the default, you can be pretty sure there will be close to 0 false positives in the blocking, and it will be safe to be applied on the whole network. And the audit, it means these will be just locked. These incidents will be just locked, and the traffic won't be changed in any way. In the blacklisted fields, we actually provide support for our customers in particular regions that are obliged to apply some legal blacklists on the traffic, and we are extending these legal blacklists according to the regions where they are needed. So if anything like this will affect you in the future, in UK, we'll be able to give you a helping hand and maintain these lists for you, so that you are in compliance with your legal obligations. In the security policy, you can also change the choose the particle threats that are to be detected by this particular policy, but mostly the customers just leave it to include all the threat types. And you can have your own whitelists and blacklists in case you would like to block something just because you have to, or it's an issue for you and access to a particular domain, which is but what is more frequent is that you define your own whitelist, that you want to ensure some domains will be accessible anytime, even they are totally malicious or anything. And you can maintain the blacklists and whitelists on your own. You just define, let me define a new blacklist in here, and I can just add a malicious domain.com and malware.co.uk. I'm just saving the particular blacklist, and I will assign the blacklist to that to the security policy I'm working with. I'm just saving this, and the blacklist is assigned to the resolver, and the resolver will start to blocking the malware.co.uk in a few minutes. I can have multiple security policies, and I will assign them to the different IP ranges and different resolvers. We'll show you in a few seconds. Just a short mention regarding the DNS resolution. I can change to forward part of the DNS traffic to another server. I need a special DNS behavior for some subnet of mine. I would like to change, for example, the caching behavior, etc., etc. But most of the customers leave this to the default. One option that can be also done here is some sort of SEC exceptions. And you can what you can do here, you can do here in the advanced configuration, you can do basically anything which is provided by the NOT resolver. It's our base, that's our base technology, the NOT resolver, and it offers I would say it offers so wide variety of possibilities, even scripting on the DNS resolution level, that you can do anything in the DNS resolver. Again, we don't really expect you will do much here, but if you need to, you can ask us, and we will help with the configuration definition. Going to the resolvers, I would also like to show you the installation. So this is the resolvers menu. I have two resolvers here at the moment. This one is working. The disk is quite full, so we will have to have a look at this one to empty some space. And there is another resolver which is unavailable. Something bad happened. I don't know. It's not communicating. This is just a demo to show you how does it look like when the resolver is down and it's not communicating with the cloud. The working one, I can have a short look into it regarding the statistics, the uptime. So it's running 100% up for last 10 days. The CPU load is really low. It's a demo machine, and the memory usage and the disk usage is quite stable. So I can be okay. Regarding the policy assignment, all the policies that are defined in the configuration can be assigned to particular subnets or IP ranges in your network. So I can assign either the whole network to the default policy, or I can have multiple security policies assigned to a particular IP range. Usually the customers, they have like 2, at most 3 policies, not more, not usually need for more policies. In the advanced configuration, I'm able to assign resolution configuration template, which is defined in the configuration. And I can define where the resolver should listen on a particular IP addresses or interfaces. I need him to I'm able to do upgrades, which we publish generally to all the customers. They are able to update. There is no available upgrade for this resolver as it's up to date, but so you can just roll back to the previous version and discuss with us what was wrong and create a support ticket, for example. To show you the installation, let me create a new resolver. I will call it a webinar. I will edit, and this is the main thing you need for the resolver installation. And so you just copy this command to the clipboard, and you have one of those servers ready. So it's up to you what flavor of Linux you prefer. I've prepared the Ubuntu 16, I guess. So I'll just copy paste the command and execute the installation. What's going on the operating system and the hardware requirements, and installing again some prerequisites. I'll leave it the installation to finish and show you in our documentation what are the actual requirements. So we need the Linux operating system, 64 bits, one of the Linux distributions, and these are the minimum hardware sizing requirements, which will handle, I would say, up to 10,000 customers in the ISP network. And that's it. You just need to install a plain new server and tell the copy paste the script from the web console. As you can see, the machine is installed, the resolver is up and running, and in a few moments we should be able to see the resolver here in the console as it is running and available for use. I can assign the policies. So this is really easy task. So the main advantage of this attitude is that you have the resolver in your network. So there is basically zero latency for your clients, and it's totally independent to the cloud. Even if the whole Whalebone cloud goes down, the resolvers are up and running without any issues, without any added latency. You just wait that we re-enable and rerun the cloud and make you the management and the logging available again, but the connectivity is not hindered and not threatened by our downtime. Everything is just in your network. Okay. All right. I think there is nothing else to do. You can just ask the resolver to translate to ask for the domains, and from now on you can just direct your customers to the resolver and see all the results in the threads and the DNS traffic. You can upload your own logo and the contact phone, contact mail, contact URL in the Sinkhole configuration, meaning the blocking page configuration, so that the configuration gets customized by your company information. This could be your logo, your contact information, and the language accepts the language of the particular browser that the user is using. So when anyone is blocked and redirected to this blocking page, they see your contact information, and you're sure that this was done on demand, on purpose, not just for logo, and it's not an attack on them.
I'm sorry, I'm just an additional information. We are also able to make your own custom blocking page, so that you have their completely own content. And we are working on a solution that is able to change the content completely also from the Whalebone. But in the case you would need any specific blocking page, that's possible. Just we need to have IP of the blocking page, and we are able to set it up.
Thank you. It's
Sorry, one other question regarding that. Sorry to interrupt. You say that there's the option for a custom blocking page. Would we have to host that ourselves, or would you be able to host the custom blocking page?
The custom blocking page, actually, we do it like that, and we host it directly on the resolver. So you don't have to have a server. It's hosted directly on the server that's running the DNS resolution.
Perfect. Okay, that's fine. That's fine to know.
Okay, and so another additional feature of that custom blocking page is that you are able to enable your customers to bypass that blocking, so they are allowed to reach the destination domain if they decide to do so. So there is a button. I want to go there anyway, and they are allowed to do it. That's at the moment that's possible just on the blocking page hosted directly on the resolver.
Oh, okay, lovely. That's interesting.
Okay, so let's get back to the portal. There is an alerting feature. So besides that, you are able to observe what is happening. You can also get an alert. Let me change the names. These are just the names that you can put in. So this is obviously checked, but I will change it to domain blocked to be clear for you. So this is a really simple alert that's just sending an alert in case that there is anything blocked on your network. I wouldn't suggest to do it as it is done here in the demo, because we are sending emails on such occasions, and you could get quite a lot of emails in this way. So the preferable way for this is to, for example, to send a syslog in your log management, or some of the customers, they use REST API to reach their API servers and processing the information in their internal servers. Other activities for alerting, for example, are newly blocked domains, meaning if I see a domain of some type, in this case it's but it could be also .co.uk, and if I see is a new domain blocked from the top level domain .co.uk in 30 days, that I can get an alert just to see, okay, there is something new which hasn't been blocked before, and it could be, maybe it could be false positive, maybe not, but I want to be aware of this. I can look for spikes in a particular traffic. So, for example, the NX domain spike, it usually means there is something bad going on the network. It could be a botnet. It could be wrong, strangely behaving application. And I have the rules, the parameters for such an alert, meaning I want to observe a 15 minutes windows. And if there is a percentage increase in 200% of the NX domain responses, I want to get the alert. Similar, I will call it spam, and the spam could be a similar alert. Let me change it to another template. I can be, for example, looking for MX queries more than 400 in 30 minutes, and if I reach that result, I will get that alert. Okay, there is someone probably spamming on my network, and I want to do something about that. And also the alerts regarding resolver failure. I mean, okay, the resolver is there is something wrong. There is a internal health check on the resolver. And if that fails, you will get an alert. Okay, your resolver doesn't work. There's some issue. It could be issue with the hardware. It could be network issue, etc. But you have to attend it because it's a critical service in your network. You can add a different alerting endpoints. It could be the syslog webhook. We use also Slack. Not really that popular among our customers at the moment, but we use it internally a lot. And in email, it's the most common one. So alerting could help you a lot, and we are in a process of publishing the reporting configuration where you can actually define a period for the reporting, if it's monthly, weekly. If you get it on what day you will receive it. So you can receive a regular checkup of what's going on your network through a PDF. And I'll go away from the portal. And so last but not least, our API. The API. At the moment, we have 3 endpoints for the API. Focused the data consumption first. So the API doesn't provide you with the configuration options, but you can consume most of the information that is available in the product. For example, the event search. You are able to download all the events thing that actually happened on your resolvers. You can and then filter for the thread types. You can filter the particular client IPs, resolver IDs for the particular resolvers or domains, or the reasons for why was anything blocked. I mean, it was a legal issue. It was accuracy, meaning it was a malicious domain, and you can look back in time for your preferred number of days. For example, it could be 3 months, it could be even 90 days. But let's have a look for even for the past day. I will just execute the query. You have all the samples how to execute the query in here, and this is the actual response. There has been quite a lot going on in the past days in this demo account. And you can consume this information in your system. You can filter according to IP address. So you can, for example, you can incorporate this information to your customers through your CRM or through your reporting. You can see the client IP in here. You can see the action that has been done, the domain, the threat types that has been detected, or even the geolocation where the threat actually resides, that it was in Italy. There's a rich information that can be provided to your colleagues, to yourself, or to your customers. It's up to you how do you use the API. Besides the event search, there is a timeline. So we don't provide full DNS data through the API. It would also be just too big. So, but we provide the trends and the DNS, the query types that has been looked up, the particular domains, and we are able to aggregate it according to time, domain, query type, etc., etc. So just to have an idea, we'll try it out, and we will aggregate it by query type. For last day, I will execute the query. Again, you can see the example of the query that can be implemented in any script, and we can see, okay, there has been 53 CNAME requests in this time frame. In this time frame, then there has been 963 A requests, etc., etc. So this is quite useful to querying for the amount of traffic and, for example, drawing some graphs. And the DNSSEC validation, this one is really similar to the DNS, but it tells you about the DNSSEC validation errors. So if there are any DNSSEC validation errors, you will know about them, and you will know, okay, there have been 2 in the last hour. So you can look for anomalies in the DNSSEC, which actually is quite important. We have seen even some TLDs having problem with DNSSEC and blocking the users from accessing the websites. So this is the API included in the license. Of course, it's just up to you if you want to use it and, for example, build a product on top of it. This is mostly everything I wanted to go through. I think it's a proper time for your questions or remarks or requests, maybe. Anything you want to ask?
I have a quick question for you. Interested in whether or not you have any kind of compliance additions to this platform. So for any example, with UK laws regarding piracy and pornography that are going to be planned in place quite soon, is there any way that could be incorporated, or have you ever got any plans to incorporate things like that in there so we could block sites?
We would really like to, and I think it's a quite a good place to do it. However, from what we know, there is still a lot of moving parts in this area, so nobody is quite sure what should be actually done. So we do this in Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Slovakia, where it's quite easy because there are just blacklists, and they are obliged to block something. But this will be a bit more difficult. So we are watching it closely.
Yeah.
However, no one is able to tell us, okay, this will be necessary.
Yeah. So once you had sort of more concrete ideas of what needed to be blocked, it is something you would potentially look at incorporating into the platform.
Of course, because we understand that you would like to have a single tool to manage it. You don't want to have multiple tools to deal with this. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
For anyone, I mean, the evaluation is really easy. If you are interested, it's just a matter of several minutes to get it up and running and to have some traffic flowing into the solution, just to get a feeling what's possible. And I hope it would make you happy to see what's going on on your network and actually protecting your clients.